Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna start doing regular music vlogs. As you know, I make quite a bit of music, and I'm learning as well. And yeah, I just kind of completed a uplifting trance track that I made. And the thing was, is I wanted to focus more on melody writing or writing in general. So yeah, I kind of cheated and used a lot of Nexus sounds, just for the sake of, you know, doing it that way. So there we go. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go through all of my channels and show you what I kind of did, and yeah, we'll have a listen. So basically, yeah, I started out with a conventional crash. Right, with more of an elongated, longer and more put together with the reverb. I always put reverbs on crashes. Right there, it sounds kind of boring. So yeah. Oh, actually, what I'll do is I will start with a melody first, because that's kind of where I started. All right. So I wanted something. Well, it's in a major scale, and it's basically this. That's what I started out with, I believe. And I know it's clipping, but deal with it. It wasn't actually clipping. So I had that, and then usually how I see it is there has to be another sound that kind of talks to it. I should maybe make a disclaimer. A lot of people know this is I was not classically trained in music, and how I do this sort of thing is I wrestle with it until it sounds good. I use push as an aid. Well, it's a major aid for my lack of, music knowledge. So anyway, I have like my main thing right here, and it just basically repeats like that. It's a pluck, and I use Nexus, and I EQ'd it like that, whatever. And I wanted to have the bass kind of talk to it, and make it more driving but more uplifting. It's kind of something that you want to hear every time. I'm not sure what the term is. Every time there's like a resolution, you want it to happen again, and it does. So then I created kind of a bass line, which isn't really a bass line. It's just basically two notes with an ARP, and this is what I have. And those two things talk to each other. I believe it's called a counter melody. Oh, and how I wrote this is, what push does is you play left to right, which is, your scale. So, and then you go up a fifth. So I did this. Nope. Down. I forget what I did. What the heck did I do? I'll just play it. Yeah, I went. Then I went up a fifth. Wait. How the hell did I do that? Yeah, I went up that way. Down. So it's like a simple shape that I totally forgot how I did it. But yeah, anyway, this is a vlog. So yeah, so I had that, and I wanted to add, more layers is more better. So I took that and I added another little guy here. And I just wanted something that kind of like went below it, and it had like a bit crusher kind of effect to it. So I just kind of accentuated that by creating a little shelf and compressing it, obviously. Then I made another one. I took out like the pluckiness and I made just a simple kind of pad to kind of float along it, and this is basically your trance layer. So this is the layer of the main riff. That. So then I wanted to add something that just goes above it. That's a little bit different. So then I did this. Oh, it's a little past. Right, and with all that together, it is rather pretty, in my humble opinion. So then, yeah. So we'll get into what all that sounds like in a bit. It's a little bit of a cliffhanger there. So I have my kick here. This is how I usually process them. I do weird stuff, but generally these kicks are quite good on their own. But I wanted to create more room for the bass and stuff like that. You still got the oomph and the attacky kick, right? So yeah, what I did with these is I bust them. The bass here. Added some low end and, sidechain compression. The usual suspect. Right. There's that one. And then there's like the second layer. Right. So one is very meaty. The other one is also meaty, but it's spread out more. So it's kind of making things talk to each other, which is how kind of trance works. So let's give that a try. Without it, right? With this, it just sounds kind of boring. But with them both, they accentuate each other quite well. And that is my purple group, or pink purple, whatever that is. That is my bass, and as you can see, it's quite static, and the change comes during the break, which is basically the structure of trance music per se. So then I have this guy coming in with just a simple low pass filter with some reverb on top of reverb on top of reverb. Right, so we have our layers. Right, and they kind of travel together, and it's all leading into something. Which I think music should do. Right, you got your vengeance loop. A bit of reverb to make it sit in the mix a little bit better. Reverb tends to smear things in a harmonically pleasing way. Your hi-hats, and they're panned. Oh yeah, notice my panning. A lot of things are panned. So this and this. Clap is very left, and the majority of the hi-hats is very right, but not too right. Right, so there's that. Run-of-the-mill effects. Two kinds, and snare roll, which is a sample, or a bunch of, well, it is a sample. Nothing too crazy. This is the Activa sample pack. I got my reverb kick here, which you hear. Right? And just a regular sidechain, already sidechained. Just for a bit of atmosphere, which is very nice. So that's basically my effects. You could go crazy, but that's about as much as I'm willing to do, just to keep it kind of simple. And plus, this exercise was to focus more on writing. Anyway, so yeah, I have this. You have start at the beginning of the MIDI clip. The pads are introduced. Right, so then it kind of starts, kick comes in, you know what's happening, and then we get into the kind of face down thing. So there's basically two prominent drops, you could say. Makes my toes wiggle, then you know it's working. And then we have your basic breakdown and make it mixable. That guy right there. Yeah, basically all Nexus, one kind of Corona, just to kind of make it so I focus more on the writing. Like I just pulled up something and I did that little whatever it is that I totally brain farted and forgot, and built it from there. And it's just simply this right here. Oops. It's just it's this guy right here. Right, and it's just stagnant, kind of the same, but how the bass changes, it makes it talk to each other. So yeah, let's take a look at the master effects. Just these simple kind of high pass little filter sweeps with EQ8. I use EQ8 because it's a lot more cleaner sounding, obviously, than the auto filter, and you get neat little sweeps that way that feed well into a few other things. Alright, so it's all nice and pretty. It drops, good for DJs and whatnot. One thing I use on a lot of kind of trance is the reverb, and I use it just in these kind of configurations for the break. And it makes things really, really big, but it's kind of an effect that you don't notice. You don't notice this reverb, and I don't go, I guess I go like 22% wet. Or yeah, 22% wet. So what I said before is the EQ8 is feeding into this, so it's making it sound more harmonically pleasing. And it just kind of resets to 0 here for the drop, and it makes things sound cool. And the tension is kind of relieved with the crash up here, which I may work a bit more on. So yeah, that's basically, I use reverb, but just kind of in a way that you don't notice it, which is fun. Still liking the C6. When you're using something like the C6, use it on like the most prominent part of your track. So right around here. And so that yellow line is your gain reduction. I'm not gonna explain it all here. And it's a good way to split up everything into bands and listen. Alright, so there's bass right here. That's pretty cool. Right, you need that. And then you can listen to your mid or your mid-low. Right. There's no big secret on how to use this. You basically just use it to smooth things out and create headroom. And just bring the threshold down and doing it as much as you can get away with without, changing the tonality and the shape of the sound, which isn't too good. Alright, that is multiband compression. Yeah, I'm really into the Fab Filter stuff. Just for minor little edit kind of thing. Yeah, it's jolly good. So what I usually do, if you're going to be working on small little adjustments, you wouldn't do like 30 decibels. You use a scale that is more appropriate. So I use around 6, and I just kind of chop off this little area. Right around here you get like a weird bass ringing. And it's always good to, well, you don't have to do it, but this is what I do. And I added a bit of oomph just because I could. That probably doesn't do anything in the later stages, but whatever. I added a bit of a thingy here. That's where the majority of that the plucks come from. Right around here, let's see what's here. Yeah, the hiss, that nice hiss of that you hear in trance music is right around here. If you want to write it down, it's 6517 or 6500 hertz. Alrighty, and then I rolled it off around here. Right, I can't really hear that. I guess I can give it a bit more. Yeah, we'll do that. Or I can make it even gentle by going 24 decibels. That is a little harsher. Why not? Yeah, I can't hear that. If you can, you deserve a medal. And usually at my last step, if I'm doing a lot of processing and there's a lot going on the low end, I add this last little step, and it's the linear phase EQ. What this does is it rolls things off awesomely on the low end here, right above 30 hertz. But you don't even notice it. And what that does is it clears up a bit of headroom and gets rid of all that mud that has accumulated on the bottom, which is positive. And I just threw on an L2. L2's on every single track that I make. And I just brought the threshold just around there. I worked on a good mix as I went, so I didn't really need to, bring it up, so to speak. So you have something that's like, the track is really wide because a lot of things are panned, and there's a lot of sounds that have been used before, but it's all well and good. And and you have some neato little uplifting trance ready for your favorite festival. Anyway, that is it for me, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a bit. All right, take care.